You know, that it's ancestral, it depends, you know, like where, you know, our ancestors lived, they lived in different parts of the world, it's been affected by the sun, and so it's inherited over generations. And we talked about it afterwards, we laughed about it, and they said to me, like, thank God, you're like family. Like, it could have been taken so badly by so many people. You know, and it got me thinking, you know, when we're kids, we can say stuff like that. We can ask stuff like that. We can make connections between chocolate ice cream and the color of your skin, or figure out, like, because we're so curious, we're inquisitive, we want to understand the world, and it's okay. As adults, it's okay to do that. And so take the time to explain, and we marvel at the way kids connect dots. And then what happens to us? We go through the education system. We go through the work system. We're taught to fit in. We're taught to stay within the confines of a certain way of thinking so that we fit in a particular paradigm. And then we step into the world of work. And even more boxes, even more containers that we have to fit into. And as a result, it dampens our creativity, it dampens our ability to think differently, which is the number one skill that we need as entrepreneurs and as business leaders today. Because in the world, we all know it's changing so fast right now. With technology evolving at the way it's doing, the culture that is changing in the organizations, where we've got new generations, we've got millennials, we've got Gen Zs, and they're looking for something different. And there's a lot of things that can be done by automation today. So it's not so much that we need technical skills, it's that we need the ability to problem solve differently. How many of you follow what I'm saying? Thank you. We need to create. We need to come up with new ideas. We need to innovate. We need to think differently. And that's the skill that is going to differentiate us in the marketplace today. And if you look at some of the world's biggest companies, Fortune magazine profiled 50 of the world's most innovative companies in 2018. And who are the leaders? Companies we all know. Apple, for designing the future of tomorrow today. Netflix, for mastering the small screen. Patagonia, for growing their business every time they amplify their social mission. Spotify, Instagram, the NBA for integrating technology into what they do. So many big businesses now are innovating and they're leading in their field. And, you know, the question I have for you guys today, 3 questions actually, is how are you going to stand out in what you do? Doesn't have to be in business. I know some people here are in nonprofits and personal development, they're in health and wellness, whatever sector you're in. There's a who's who in there somewhere. And what's it going to take for you to get there? How are you going to spark a revolution? There's a guy that I've been studying recently, and most people have not heard of him. His name is John Alfred Watkins. Anyone heard of him? No. He was around in the 1900s, and in fact in 1900, he put out a prediction of how he envisaged the world 100 years later, in the year 2000, 19 years ago. And in 1900, in the Ladies' Home Journal, the newspaper at that time, he said that there would be an express train that would go at the speed of 150 miles an hour. Guess what? In the year 2000, exactly 100 years later, Amtrak created a train that went at 150 miles an hour. He said that there would be some kind of mechanism where people could view what's going on in other areas of the world, and it'd be connected by 2 circuits and energy integrated between. We call that television today. He said that photography would be colorful and vibrant. This is in a time when digital photography did exist, black and white photography existed, but it was grainy, it was really in its infancy. So to have that kind of vision, he said that when there was a battle in China, it would take 1 hour for that news to hit the other side of the world. And this is at a time in history when it took a week for news to travel to the other side of the world. So talk about bold predictions. People at that time thought he was crazy. Now people look at him and go, wow, John Alfred Watkins, he was a genius. And so I'm challenge you all today. How are you going to challenge the status quo in your industry? How are you going to think differently? What are you going to do so that people go, whoa, where did that come from? Les talked about what's that word you used yesterday? I loved it.
Futurary.
Futurary, I loved it. Futurary, not your obituary, your future. He talked about living a dynasty, not a legacy, but a dynasty. This is what it's going to take. It's going to take thinking differently. It's going to be thinking ahead, putting on a different pair of goggles. And I want to talk to you a little bit about what it takes to create a movement. Because when you're thinking differently, it's not just you've got to come up with your idea, but you've also got to enroll people into your vision. You've got to engage people. You've got to build your tribes that are people out there supporting you. So how do you do that? There's a lot of bad ideas that come out of the world, right? The Royal Roast Trumpet sucks. Cure for crabs. That was funny. Come on. You love this?
Yes.
$1 million idea? Huh? And then every once in a while, something really great comes along.
Yeah.
That bold, badass idea.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? They're gonna just go, whoa, what was that? And it makes them sit up and it makes them take notice. And when they engage with this product or this service, they look at the world in a whole new way. What does it take to do that? You come up with that idea, and you're kind of that lone wolf out there, right? Because everybody out there is doing what everybody else in the marketplace is doing. If you got your glasses on for a minute, I want you to take them off. Because just for a moment, I want you to pretend that you are vanilla, that you are ordinary, that you are the status quo in the marketplace. I know you're not, but just pretend for a second, right? So there's the marketplace, and then there's you, i.e., the cool idea, and you want to rock the world, you want to change the world. So everybody else is out there vanilla. And you're like, ooh, creative, look at this idea. It's like, you're doing things marketplace isn't doing, right? And everyone's kind of looking good. I'm just going to stay over here in my safe space. And you're like, no, look at this cool idea. And then they can look at you like you're blown up and you're a crazy person, but you keep doing that, and you got to do it in public, because people have to see you rocking it, right? They have to see you making that impact in the marketplace. And you keep rocking it, and you keep moving, and you keep shaking it, and all of a sudden somebody's looking at you going, cool product. I love that. I'm going to jump up and join her. I'm going to follow her. Somebody jump up and follow me. Someone cool and daring and brave and all right. And so now we're both grown-ups. We're rocking it out. We're just rocking it out. We're just doing nothing. Like, oh, we're cool people with this awesome product. Go for it. We're just styling in our own way. Go for it. We've got your back, baby. Okay, so here we are. And we're like this way. We're rocking this new product. Now, here's the deal. I've got your back. I've got your back. So I am as a leader. My job is to step back, because guess what? She's my first follower. She's my first follower. She believes in my product. This is us. This is us. She's out there. She's out there in the marketplace, and she's bringing people in. She's like, come on, check out this awesome thing. She you engage people, you enroll people, and that first follower, boy, does that take bravery to say, I'm going to stand up. I'm going to stand behind this awesome product, this awesome idea that has never been done before. And the trick as a leader is to let them take the stage, right? You let them, because she's my equal. This is not me running the show. This is not my show. This is her. Because guess what? Followers follow followers. What happened? She got courageous, and somebody else jumped up. Les jumped in. We had some people, and it became a party. And now the people that are sitting down, the vanilla people, it's a metaphor, by the way. I know you're not vanilla. But the people that are now sitting down look like the outsiders. Because there's enough people, it's reached a tipping point. Beautiful. And that's how you get an idea spread. When Les is talking about dynasty versus legacy, he's talking about futurary versus obituary. My question to you is, what one idea are you going to implement in your business that is going to move the needle in your industry, that is going to shake the world, so that 100 years from now, people call you the next John Alfred Watkins of the 21st century? The concept of thinking the unthinkable, of daring to go out there, to go out on a limb, to be courageous, to go where people have never gone before, in our minds, or the reality of a product or a service. I'm going to give you three tips, three takeaways in just a moment, but I want to share with you this concept is in a book that I just wrote in the last 2 months, not even. It's called Raise Your Innovation IQ. And I want to give you the backstory. I was talking to Les about it, and he's like, you've got to share it with these people, so I'm going to give you the backstory. A couple of months ago, one of my corporate clients, they're a retail giant, who probably bought food from their stores at some point in your life, and they brought me in to speak at one of their events. And they said, hey, Leena, can you write a book for us? Can you put your strategies, there's so many ideas here, can you put it into some kind of a book for us so that our leaders can refer to whenever they want to come up with new ideas, new thoughts? And crazy person that I am, I'm like, sure, I'll put everything down into a book. Like, I don't have time. And I put this down, and I put this project together to help their leaders. And it turned into such an epic thing that I looked at it at the end, and I literally didn't sleep. I 4 hours, maybe a night. I worked my butt off, and I over-delivered, and I thought, this can't stay here. This has to go out there. These are ideas, these are strategies that every entrepreneur in the world, every leader of every big company today, every future leader of every company today, and that's everyone sitting here right now, because we're on the bench. Those guys are on their way out, and they need someone to take over, and we're the leaders for tomorrow. And we need all the help we can get. And I want to give you these strategies. So the actual real book, the physical book, is being published this summer. But I wanted to do this to kind of like, you guys are like my target now, you're my faculty.
Yeah!
I want to offer you kind of an insight. I wanted to offer you this, and it's kind of like an insight peek on these strategies. It's available as digital copy right now. And Thinking the Unthinkable, the story that I just talked about, is in there, plus 21 others. RaiseYourInnovationIQ.com. You can go check it out there. I'd love you to sample it, test out the ideas. I guarantee 21 life-changing innovation ideas that you can use in your business. I guarantee one will make you money, if not 5, 6, 7, or 8. I guarantee it. I'll give you money back. I stand by it. So I wanted to share that, and here you go. Three strategies on how to think the unthinkable. I want to leave you with today. Number one, I want you to nurture innovation within you. I want you to nurture this capability. It's like a muscle that you need to flex every day. It's like going to the gym. And that requires you recognizing and getting that you're not going to get it right all the time. You're going to have stupid ideas. better. And then you talk to somebody else and they'll make the idea better. And bam, you got a $1 billion idea. That's how it's done. Right? Nurture that capability. Number 2, don't knock those people that come up with crazy ideas, that test you, that rub you up the wrong way. Because, we're all like to be in our comfort zone, right? Things are familiar, things are done the way they're done. But then there are people out there that are bold and take risks. Be that first follower. It takes guts. If somebody's out there and they're on their own and they're trailing up to they're putting something out there that's awesome and amazing, be that first follower for them. And it will come back. It's just the way it works. Support those people and be courageous in doing that. And then the third comes from Yale University. And this is what they tell their students in their student manual. I was so inspired by this. They say, think the unthinkable, discuss the unmentionable, and challenge the unchallengeable. And that's what I want you to do. I want you to go out there. I want you to differentiate yourself from your competitors. You can do this. Use your tribe to build, to grow from the ground up. Convert that soil. In Buddhism, they say that murky, the lotus flower grows from the muddy waters, right? That murky soil, the garden, that Thomas was talking about, that's what blossoms. And it leads to the lotus flower. That's your life, that's your legacy, that's your dynasty. You can do this. Go forward and conquer. Thank you.
Say, Miss Leena. Miss Leena. Wow. Wow. You raised our innovation IQ. Thank you. For sharing from your heart. Thank you. For joining this tribe. With your gifts. With your knowledge. With your expertise. You are the epitome of a BDP. Give her a round of applause. Have a seat. Wow. Do you see why I wanted her to share with you? Did you gain anything from that? Yes. Can someone share at their table something that they gained from that? And as a matter of fact, pull out your cell phone right now. Pull out your cell phone. Use technology. We're at day 2. Pull out your cell phone. This time I'm going to share something with you. Turn it horizontal this time, okay? Turn it the long way for the edit, okay? So turn it that way. Go to camera. Turn it the long way, all right? And then share on your camera what you learned from today so far in day 2, okay? And give a special shout out to Miss Leena Patel. How do you pronounce her?
Leena Patel.
Miss Leena Patel, okay? Miss Leena Patel, all right? Tell Mr. Brett Levitt and Tom Gay, say, hey, let me know how you feel about it so far in the video. Let them know. And then talk about Miss Leena Patel and what you gained from her. That would mean so much. That would be a great gift, okay? Now here's something else. During the lunch break, when you scan your leader lenses, for those that have it, you're going to have a video for those that made the video yesterday. You're going to get to see that for those that scan your leader lenses. And when you come back and you scan it, it'll take you, so one side will take you to the video, and then the other side will take you straight to the Raise Your Innovation IQ, okay? So for those that have your leader lenses, they'll take you straight to it. And I just want you all to know that it's your time. Mr. Brett Levitt, thank you so much for allowing Ms. Leena to share the stage. And thank you all so much for hopping on the dance floor with me. And I believe we get next.
Thank you. John Leslie Rowe. A couple things just happened that were profound if you caught them. Usually speakers want every minute they can get. They want every stage they can get. I've watched John Leslie give up the stage for people multiple times. That's the mentality of Thriving Tribe. That's the BDP. And because of his humility and his gift, we get blessed. Leena, you almost brought me to tears. I'll tell you why she almost brought me to tears. Those that are close to me know I really don't want to be up there. Not because I'm afraid of the stage, but I had a dream. Tom and I have a dream. The rest of the faculty, we have this dream that we would empower people to such a place that this movement would just go throughout the world, not because of a guru, not because of great speakers, but because people lead themselves well and they build thriving tribes all over the world. The goal here is not to be on the stage. The goal for us is to get off the stage and empower people with our efforts and our talents and our skills to have that value given to you. We did not know Leena 24 hours ago. That's the power of tribe. But because you're in the marketplace and you're awake, new innovation happened, new things happen. We're going to be a few minutes late, but I had to say that. It's so important. I sat back there right before she did the analogy, and you know what was going through my mind if you don't think you're here for a purpose? Before I knew anything, I didn't know what she was going to do. But I was thinking, I can't wait for the day that she's up there more and I'm up here less. Because that's what you really need. You know what Tom and I want to do? We want to empower you to be great, to be in your greatness, to let it come out. It's so important in the world today that that happens. David Keith's a dear friend of mine. He goes, man, you got to be on stage more. You got to be on stage more. You got to be teaching what you know. No, I want to actually sit in a quiet room with these people and just have friend-to-friend, inner circle conversations where we mastermind together, right, Stephen? And then they come up here and build thriving tribes throughout the world. That's what's going to happen. I'll mark my words. It's happening now. It's going to continue to happen and grow. Thank you. Thank you very much. Do you agree? If you didn't agree, would you tell me? All right. We're going to wrap up, guys, and we're going to be going to lunch right around 12:15 and then lunch till 1:30. So we won't come back up after our final speaker for the afternoon here. And then when we come back at 1:30, we're going to pick right back up with some good music, good energy, and finish out the day strong. But as I mentioned last night, this is a dear friend of mine. He gives and gives and gives, and over there, Melinda is another great example of someone with great humility. She always gives up the stage for Dawn, even though she has a lot of wisdom to share. But she believes in her husband so much. And together, you guys have never had an argument in how many years of marriage? 17 years they've never had an argument in their marriage. You know what that is? Can you just come up here, Dawn? I have a lot of love and affection. He's got my back, I got his back. But when you share the secret, when you guys started your relationship, what you told each other that created that, because it's actually very tribal. Yeah. This mentality is so tribal that if we start looking at each other this way, we'll always be in a harmonic environment. Okay, so here you go. Please give a big hand to Don Boyer. Hey, all right. 17 years ago, going on 18 years now, because we've been married 17 years, when me and my wife first met, I wasn't what you would call a romantic guy. On our first date, I said, I got 3 questions for you. I said, number 1, do you have a problem with anger? And number 2, do you have a problem with jealousy? And do you have a problem with making a lot of money? And she said, no, I don't. I said, because I don't have a problem with those 3 areas either. But if you say yes, we could just end this date right now and go our own ways. And so when we got married, this was what our vows were. I can't change you, and you cannot change me. But I will work on me for you if you work on you for me. That has kept us married for 17 years without one single major argument. Isn't that wild? Now, you would think
that we were alike, but we are completely total opposites. Now here's what's interesting, is that we work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week together. We're never separated. Where you see one of us, you'll always see the other one. People always ask me, how in the world do you stay married? How do you work together? How do you stay in the living quarters? And at the end of the night, and Melinda will tell you this truth, the most favorite time of our day is when we get in bed and snuggle up. Now, we're already old, man, so we don't do the whoop we do that because of that, right? It's about intimacy, right? It's about intimacy. And at the end of our day, that's the best time of the day. And it all started because somebody said, I'm not going to change you, and you're not going to change me, but I'm going to work on me for you, and you are going to work on you for me. So that's the formula that works, Brother Brett. I'll get back to you. I think we're ready for lunch.
No, you got time.
Oh, you want me to go on?
Yeah. Why don't you go like to 12:10? We got 20 minutes.
Okay, can you hand me my books right there? Can you hand me that little cliche here? Okay, so I know everybody's hungry. I'm hungry, so we'll get through this fast. I remember when we had our spa, we had 11 therapists, 2 assistants, and a chiropractor that worked with us. We had 3,300 clients when we sold the spa. And I remember the first time, because when I went to massage and became board certified reflexology, because I wanted to know what our therapists went through in a dark room with a naked person, right? That's not always an easy thing to do. You need to know the experience of what they go through, the fatigue that they go through, and that's why we did. So with 3,300 clients, I had to sometimes fill in for our therapist if somebody was there. Now I remember the first time I worked with a gentleman, and when I walked in, he looked at me and he said, I know karate and I have a son. I said, well, I don't want to be here any more than you want me here, so let's just get this over with and let's get on, right? So I know that you're hungry, so we're just going to get through this fast and get it on so we go to lunch, okay? Is that all right with you?
Yeah.
All right. So the idea is this young lady, she did an outstanding job. And man, that was, my dear, you did phenomenal. Kudos to you, sister. Yesterday I told you that money, what is the definition of money? Money is energy, but how do we see energy? We really don't see it unless you stick your finger in a light socket, right? And you come out looking like Einstein. But we really can't see energy. So if money is energy, what does it look like in a physical form? It looks like ideas. Ideas are the wealth of the world. Ideas is what puts money in your bank account. Ideas is what will cause you to become financially independent. So in 2005, I get a phone call from a friend, and he said, there's an event in San Diego, and Charlie Tremendous Jones is there, Dennis Freddy's there, and they want to have breakfast with us. Let's go down there. So we went down there. I didn't know who was putting on the event, but there was a gentleman there that was putting on the event, and I saw him there in the lobby. He's running around like a whirlwind. And he comes up to me, and he sticks a book in my hand, and then takes off, and he comes back. He said, oh, let me sign it for you. And I asked my friend, I said, well, who's that? He said, his name's Greg Reed. He's the guy that's putting on the event here. So after the event, I started talking to Greg, and I said, hey, next week I'm doing an event. Why don't you come on down and speak at my event? He said, hey, can you, I'll do that for you, but can I do my mentorship program? I just lost a new mentorship program. Can I pitch it there? I said, yeah, come on down, whatever you want to do. So he pitched his mentorship program, and everyone that signed up got a box of $300 worth of DVDs and CDs and books. Well, inside that box was a book called Wake Up and Live by a guy named Stephen E. It was an anthology. And I looked through it and I said, man, this is a pretty good idea. So I called Greg and I said, hey, Greg, this guy Stephen E. is your friend, and he did an anthology, and I want to do one like that, but I don't know what I'm doing. He said, come to my house, I'll give you a crash course. When I walked into his house, when I walked in the door, he said, let me ask you a question, Don. You want to do this as a business or as a hobby? I said, I don't know. He said, get out. I was shocked. He was serious. He said, Don, if you don't want to do this as a business, you have no business doing it. So I said, all right, I'll do it as a business. All right, sit down. So he gave me a crash course in about 6 hours spent with him. Tell me how to do the anthologies and everything else. I left his house. So when I did my first anthology in 2005, I did my research. I was expecting, okay, to sell 50 books because I knew that 90% of authors sell 50 books or less. I was excited if I could sell 50 books, right? Well, I sold 4,000 books before it came out press. I almost fell out of my chair, right? 4,000 books. I was ecstatic, right? But it never dawned on me, the idea never dawned on me to do another one. I was just going to do one. I was more than happy with 4,000 books. And then people started calling me, and they said, Don, when are you going to do your next book? I got the idea. All right, I'm going to do Power Mentorship Volume 2. I hired a graphic artist to do the cover, got it all together, they were ready to go to print. And Charlie Jones, some of you that are old school, who knows Charlie Jones? Remember him? He was a great guy. And he had a publishing company. He knew a lot about books. So I sent it to Charlie and I said, hey, Charlie, you find your cover. I said, isn't it awesome? He said, get the volume 2 up. But I said, why, Charlie? I said, I spent a lot of money on this cover. He said, if people don't read volume 1, they're not going to read volume 2, you're going to hurt yourself. But I said, Charlie, it looks so good. He said, Don, you feel your way, I'll feel my way, I got to go. He hung up the phone, right? So I said, what am I going to do now? If I can't name it Power Mentorship Volume 2, what am I going to name it? Right? Do I call it Power of Influence? Do I call it the Power of Leadership? What am I going to call it? And then the idea came, the Power Mentorship for the 21st century. Then I realized that was the whole idea. Now we have 40 titles later. The Power Mentorship for the Leadership Within. This one is Power Mentorship for the Millionaire Within. You have this book here? You have this book. And so now 40 titles later. So what happened is the idea of doing the book created hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars in profit because of an idea. Not because of a certain thing that I figured out with my logical mind, because I really didn't know how to do it. When we did our first movie, we did with Bob Proctor and Marie Diamond, many people from The Secret. And so I was speaking with Bob Proctor on stage, and after we did a Q&A, and people had asked me, how did you do a full-fledged documentary with Bob Proctor? This was in 2007. Bob Proctor had just got off doing The Secret, and he was untouchable. He was 2 years booked in advance. Okay? Quantum physics got me hooked up with Bob Proctor, got me into our movie. So they wanted to know, how did you do a full-fledged movie in 9 months, and at the red carpet of the Landmark Theater with the packed out house, and Bob Proctor, Marie Diamond, everybody at stand present, how did you do it? And I thought about it, and I said, you know what? It never dawned on me that I couldn't do it. I got an idea to do the movie. In fact, I remember where it was. We were outside at Denny's restaurant, and I told Melinda, I said, hey, I like that movie, The Secret. I want to do a movie like that. And she says, what do you want to do about it? I said, I have no idea. I have no idea. But I had the idea to do it. I was sitting with lunch with Bob Proctor, and after the movie had come out, and he had asked me, he said, Don, what was your net profit on the movie? I said it was about $325,000. This way he said to me. He looked at me and he said, Don, you're a nice guy, but you know nothing about making money. He said, I thought $325,000 was a lot of money for one movie. That was our net profit, right? But to him, that was small dollars. Because I had been with him where he was making $3 million on a seminar. These guys think big, man. And so people have been asking all the time, Don, how did you get on stage with Brian Tracy? How did you get on stage with Bob Proctor? How did you do all that? You know what it is? You have to learn how to move $100,000 or more on the platform, or you're not getting up there. That's just the way the industry works, okay? And so it was an idea that I got about the movies. So then from the movies, we're now down to our 10th movie, okay? We went down to the North, the Carnegie Principle. Here, you can have this one too. Okay. It is Christmas time for her. See what happens when you sit up front? You get blessed. So then I got the, how much time do we have, Brother Brett? 10 minutes, okay. So then I got this idea, okay, about building a tribe. This is how me and Brett got together. Okay? Got this idea about building a tribe. There are 3 things that will create wealth. Write these down. Number 1 is called mentorship. Number 2 is called membership. This is why Costco uses it. This is why every retailer uses the strategy of membership. And then number 3 is called autoship. These are the 3 principles that if you can practice and put into your business strategy will help you become wealthy. So I got the idea of creating a mastermind membership. We now have, and we've now combined and worked with people in Canada. We have a Canadian division leader. Somebody, can you stand up? Let's give her a round of applause. We have a Hungarian division. Brother Solar, could you stand up? Let's give her a round of applause. I got the idea of learning and understanding about mastermind and turning it into a membership. Then I got the idea about leaders. And I created a company called The Confidant. Now, what is a confidant? We don't know what a confidant is. Every leader needs somebody to talk to, but have very few to talk to. And in our confidant business, we deal with leaders because we've all had the experience as professionals that needing to get something out, And we are telling people, hey, I need to tell you this in confidence. And they'll swear up and down, it's going into the vault, man. It's not going to go anywhere else. And then next thing you know, it's on social media. It's on Facebook, right? Did they mean to betray you? No. You know what happens is when you tell somebody confidential stuff, it's an energy. Just like the human body, if you drink poison, your body will automatically want to get it out of your system. Okay, you're going to throw up, it's going to get it out. Well, when you hear something confidential in your energy field, you're going to want to throw it up. You want to get it out of your system because it's going to weigh you down, right? And so even though consciously you say, I'm not going to say anything to anybody, they got to get it out of their system. And so they're going to tell somebody about that because they got to get it out without them consciously knowing what they're doing. Okay? So a confidant is an individual that has been through it and understands all of it. All of us always put our best foot forward. But there's not a one of us that don't have skeletons in our closet. Right? And so I appreciate John Leslie, what he shared last night. Right? These are confidential things because we have created a society as leaders. I'm going to close with this, but that's all. I'm going to be on time. We have created a society where we have put our leaders on a pedestal, right? And our followers do not want us to have any flaws whatsoever. And as leaders, we do have a responsibility to hold integrity. We have to have good character, and we just have to be good, honest people as leaders, as an example, okay? But we're human. And so every leader walks around every morning, goes through things, right? And shows up in the marketplace looking their best. But there is another side where we're going through pain, and we're going through issues, and we're going through difficulties in our life. Doctors, CEOs, but I don't care who it is. Okay, we all go through these certain things. But here's what happens. We don't know who to trust anymore. We can't talk to anybody anymore, right? So you know what we start doing? We start self-medicating. We do it with alcohol, we'll do it with drugs, we'll do it with gambling, we'll do it with pornography. We do it with all kinds of addictions because we are trying to deal with the pain on the inside because we have no one to share it to because we've been burned so many times. So a confidant is somebody that has matured and understands this process and can listen and not give you advice. You know what they're going to give you? They're going to give you empathy from the heart. Okay? And this is a true story. Thank you. In the 90s, my world was coming unraveled, upside down. And I was going through a divorce. Business was just absolutely spiraling down. And I remember it was in July, hot summer day. I just bought a brand new BMW. And I'm right in the middle of the highway, and on a brand new car, the gas pump went out. And in Los Angeles, nobody's interested in pulling over and helping you. Now, I don't know if you've ever tried to push a BMW, but this is like pushing a tank. So I finally pushed the thing out of the road, by the side of the road, where there was a Gulf station and there was a bus stop. Now, in our town, there was a gentleman that was a window washer. He wasn't retarded, but he was probably in his 40s and had the mentality of probably a 19 or 20-year-old. Okay? And he would wash all of our buildings that was windows in our buildings around there. Well, I pushed the car over there. I was sitting there, and I was absolutely disgusted. And the bus came, and this guy came off with his bucket, his window washer equipment, and he saw me. He used to wash my windows. And he said, Don, hey, what are you doing here? I said, oh, Jerry, I said, you know what? I said, my car broke down. And he said to me, he looked at me with empathy from his heart that only a child could give, said, oh, Don, you don't need that. I began to weep. I couldn't stop crying because for the first, see, everybody else around my world was telling me that I was a you-know-what. But you know what, right? I was paying a therapist $100 an hour to tell me that I was a jerk. I already knew that. I didn't give you $100 to tell me that. I already knew that, right? But this guy looked at me without judgment and without anything in his heart but empathy and said, man, Don, you didn't need that. I couldn't stop weeping. It was at that moment in time that my life was healed. That empathy that he transferred from his heart to my heart without any judgment, because he didn't have the mental capacity to understand what you go through. He released that energy into my heart, and it healed me. And that's when my life got back together, and everything began to happen. And then I realized at that point, that's a business. It's called the confidant. It's for leaders that need someone to talk to. Now, I'm not going to see when people come to me, the doctors and the different professionals that come to me, they don't need my advice how to do a business. They already got a successful business. They don't need wealth strategy because they're already wealthy. You know what they need? Someone that says, I love you unconditionally. I understand. Man, I have been there. And I'm going to give you my answer. So with that, let's all go to lunch. I'll get to work. Love you guys.
I'm telling you, you're starting to feel it. By Sunday, you're going to